Alright, welcome to day 5, everybody. This is day 5 of flower, and we are in the stretch for sure. And we're seeing some major stretching going on. From last night to this morning is a huge difference. When I walked in, I was like, wow. You can just really tell that they shot quite a bit up. See, I think it's time to take this one here. Because we've got this one over here. Leave all that. This one, look at all these. Just trying to make room for all these branches. All these bud sites. You see, I'm trying to push that one around, but that'll be alright. Because we're going to move this eventually. Down. Just going to pull this way and push the branch that way. And just continue to turn and let them come on up. There we go. And this will just come on back, and then we'll come back and do it again, and eventually you see over time it just will continue to go that way. It will eventually just stay that way and say, okay, I'll go this way. It's like this one over here. Look at these branches. Oh my Lord, look at you, paper wasp just flew right up in my face. How pretty he is. Wow. Look at the design. Beautiful design on the back, yellow and black. Yep. There he goes. Gonna fly around my damn head. He's a good guy. Oh, unless he stings you. Usually if you don't mess with him, he won't mess with me. So we've been partners so far. As long as I don't go sticking my hand down when he's doing something. But he will sting. But we have a mutual relationship. I feed him all these thrips and whatever else he's munching on in here. And he takes, basically I create the ecosystem for his food to regenerate, and that gives him the opportunity to regenerate. Makes sense to me. So I'm just going around looking underneath these leaves. Just making sure I don't see nothing. The best preventative of pests is your hands. Your hands and your eyeballs. If you see something wrong, especially a pest, get it out of there. If you see disease, it's time to focus on the soil. So if we start seeing yellow in leaves, we start seeing fungus rot, we start seeing spots, fungal rot on our leaves and stuff like that, we know it's in our soil. Time to start working on our soil. And what would I do if I started seeing bad things happen? That's a good question. What would I do if we started seeing bad things? Well, the number one thing I think we should do would be to soil drench, like some JMS. We'd make some JMS, some Jadam microbial solution, and then we would mix that Jadam microbial solution with a little bit of EM1 and mix that with some trichoderma and some Bacillus subtilis, which are all good bacteria and biology and fungal strands. That's what we want basically, if we started seeing disease, we know we have a problem in our soil. We need to get, we know the bad guys are taking over, so we need to get the good guys in. We need to reinforce good guys. And we already know the good guys are in JMS, Jadon Microbial Solution, Bacillus subtilis, Trichoderma. All these things are good. They can get in that soil and start eating away at the bad, start fighting back at the bad. And this would take some time, of course. This would probably take a couple of weeks to see. But the big thing is just not going and doing a bunch of stupid stuff like adding a bunch of calcium. Adding elements is not what we want to do. We don't have a deficiency. There is no way possible that there would be any type of deficiency in my soil. There's too much sand, silt, clay, organic matter in there. I know it's there. It just would be locked up. So what I mean by that is we would have the bad guys out of jail and basically running shop around our city down here in our soil, and we need to send in reinforcements to knock back some of these bad. Now, knocking out all the bad would be bad because too much good eventually turns to bad. So there's a balance here. So we need the bad, we need the good, but we just need to balance it out. And once that balance is achieved, it's no holds barred. I mean, these plants, the biology in the soil is just ripping through all that nutrient, all that sand and silts and clays, and the system is flowing like it should, just like the creek is flowing like it should. So once this happens, we don't really have to do anything but maintain moisture, which is being done through wicking action from the creek. So we've got the sand. You can see this stays wet, stays moist. This moisture transfers into the soil. So we don't have, the roots will come to the creek. This is all that new IMO we just put in. It's being run through by all the critters, all the springtails, all the worms. They love the new IMO, the fresh IMO. It's all full of biology. It's full of bacteria that the worms want to eat. And that is what we're feeding when we talk about feeding the soil. I'm really feeding the biology in the soil. The worms, the protozoa, the nematodes, all the things in the soil food web that Dr. Elaine Ingham talks about. The soil food web is key. I mean, it's, just think about it like when we were taught in school the food pyramid. You got a pyramid, and you needed to balance that. That food pyramid was all about balance. Balanced diet gives you a balanced system, which then in turn gives you good health. And that's just that simple. The guts is where everything takes place. And the guts are down here. This is the guts. Because the same stuff that's breaking down this organic matter that would eventually, these plants are pulling up the nutrients that these plants are pulling up, then they would produce a fruit. We would then take that fruit, ingest that fruit, and then we are going to get that energy that that fruit has, that this plant pulled up the nutrients. But if there aren't any nutrients in the soil, there aren't going to be any nutrients in the food. Therefore, those nutrients aren't going to be available to us, which is why most of us have to take supplements to get these nutrients, which is why it's big business. Because there is no if there was nutrient in your food, you would not need a supplement because it's in the soil. Once I realized this, it changed my life. It changed the way I eat. It changed the way I see food. changed the way I read the back of a label of a bottle. It changed everything. You know, and I never realized it. I never put two and two together until I started studying how to grow cannabis. And cannabis led to the soil, and then the soil led to the soil food web, and then the soil food web leads to a never-ending wormhole that you will go down, which is cool. Like, that's what I wanted. I wanted something that we'll probably never figure it out. It's so complicated. It's so overwhelming. You're talking about proteins that AI can't, put together. I mean, it's going to take AI a long time to figure all this stuff out. I mean, you look up, research proteins and how, scientists are trying to unravel proteins. It's pretty wild. The combinations that it's trillions. You're talking trillions. The bacteria, the fungi. We know the basics. But as far as like microorganisms and different types of bacteria, different types of microorganisms, we're talking about things inside of cells. So these things are tiny, tiny that make all this work. And it's pretty cool to learn as I go. That's one of the reasons why I set this system up, was because then I can see exactly what's going on, how long it takes for things to get set up, and it takes a while. We're going into starting 10 months here shortly. In the next 2 weeks, the creek itself has been running non-stop for 10 months. Now, I say day 500 and what is it? I forget what it is. 590 something or whatever. That's from me laying the foundation. So I'm not even 2 years into this whole thing running yet. So we're coming up on 10 months. January will be January 17th, I believe. I turned this on for the final time and let it keep running. I had done it multiple times before that, but we had to shut it down and had quite a bit of work to do to figure out how to make it all work. The biggest issue was figuring out how to manage the water, manage the wicking action of the water. Right now we're wicking a little too much water because there's water in our hole here in our pit, and this just means that there's too much water being wicked over the creek wall into the soil beds, and that all the extra water runs down to the reservoir, and the soil is separate with the sands and the silts and the clays, the way it's layered all the way down to the bedrock. So the soil only goes down to about the rock layer here, and then from here on down is the sandbox. The clay layer sits up just below the soil layer to separate the soil from the reservoir. And that's how the horizontal soil system works. If you just look up horizontal soil system on YouTube, you'll see pictures, you'll see probably Leighton Morrison and describe, and there's a video on Future Cannabis Project where they show you how to do this. And from that video, I went crazy with sands and silts and clays, because I got a lot of different types of clays around here in my house. So I was just trying different things. I went through 25 different bags, just different layers, different things. Look at the size of that isopod. Holy cow, that thing's a monster. Look at that thing. That thing's huge. You can see all the shrimp too. Good. I don't know. You can't see because of the light, but yeah, I went through a lot of different systems, basically just trying different things. the 4x4 bed I tried, a bunch of different 30-gallon pots, just trying different things like adding wood at the base, and then having that air pocket at the bottom of those bags is a big no-no. So that's where I was going wrong with the bags, because all these Horizon or all these living soil bags have that 4-inch air gap at the bottom to allow airflow. Well, in this type of system, there is no underground airflow. There is no, like, you're standing on earth here. So everything's being pushed down. So the only way air gets into the soil is if the soil is aggregated, okay, for one. And what I mean by aggregated is just has pore holes. It has pore holes that air can get down into. And then we have high pressure systems that come through, like with the weather, and push that air down into the ground. It's that heavy air. It's being pushed down. And then you've got microorganisms and all the biology in the soil releasing food and nutrient back to the plant. The plant's releasing CO2 and taking in. The whole system is working, and that's what we were shooting for in here, is creating an indoor system where all we have to do is keep our foot on the gas and feather the gas with the lights. So I can turn the lights up and down. So when I turn the lights up, everything speeds up. More light means more sugar means more production means more turn, we get more growth. Then again, you can get too much and burn the plants. So this is where it gets tricky. This is where we can dial in our light system, where we can get the perfect amount of sunlight going to the plant to where we're just zooming along nice and smooth, going around the curves nice and smooth, as fast as we can without wrecking. That's what we want, but we need a vehicle fast enough to get us there. These are like a Ferrari. These Grandmaster LEDs are like having a Ferrari on the back road. I'm never gonna put all the power down, but that's okay. It's there when I need it. It's there if I need to turn the power up. If I want to open it up during the straightaway, I can. You would never do that for very long, so to speak. If I was going to crank and give these things 1,000 ppfd, right now we're at like 550. But if I wanted to, I could turn them up to 1,000, 1,200 and blast them for like 10 minutes. And then go back to the 550. They will know. The plants will react. You'll see changes. I definitely will see changes if I did that. So if I see a problem, I can always just turn it down. If I see burnt tips, turn the light down. Don't go messing with the soil unless you have an issue. But in my opinion, I turn the lights down, everything seems to go back into balance. I'm just basically pulling my foot off the throttle a little bit and allowing the plants to recover from the speed of the microorganisms down in the ground, just turning and burning with all that sugar that these plants were producing from all that sunlight. Once I realized what was going on, it's like, okay, so now really we just need to treat this like it's a race car, and you can adjust, you can do certain thing, you can drop weight here, add weight there, you can lean up your fuel. I mean, there's so many different ways to go about this, which is cool, because there's wrong ways, there's no real right way. These things are malleable, they'll adjust, as long as you don't go too far with them, like stress them or break them. Or when I mean stress, like turn the lights up 1200 and leaving them there. You know, not cool. Like, I would not go out in the sun and bake myself for no more than, you know, an hour. You're going to get sunburn. The bad things are going to happen. But it's good to go out and get some sun every once in a while. I don't know if you saw my story where that dude was sunning his butthole. He was like 8 seconds. Or no, what was it? Yeah, 8 seconds is like 30 minutes. Or something like that. Or 30 seconds is like 30 minutes of direct sunlight on your butthole. Because it's just like so sensitive down there. I thought that was pretty funny. The dude was doing his super health thing and got his legs all up in the air, sunning his butthole, talking about how healthy it is, and it is probably really healthy for about 8 seconds. After that, you're gonna get burnt. You're gonna have a burnt butthole. Well, I guess what I was trying to say before I started talking about dude's butthole is if you need to turn the lights down, there's nothing wrong with it. And actually the plant will probably thank you, because a lot of times these things don't like to be blasted. These things like to grow on the edge of tree lines, so like just on that shade line, but they do love sun, don't get me wrong, but there is a point where it can go too much. There can be too much light. I used to think that was a nonsense, but no, you can have too much light. You can burn the plant with too much light, especially if you have a lot of nutrient cycling going on and you pump fuel down into that system and you run her hot. You're going to end up in the bushes. Been there, done that. See if we can see some shrimp. Look at all the freaking shrimp. 1, 2. They're so small you can barely see them. 3. 4. Wow, look at all of them. They're just everywhere. I don't know if you can see them or not, but I'm just taking a guess that you can. I haven't seen the molly. There's another shrimp right there. But the molly usually comes out when I'm around. Or if I run my hand through. But the molly's so tiny. We got mad shrimp up here. And this daggone jasmine here is stupid. The ivy is powering through the jasmine. Look at the shrimp up here. Look at them all slinging around. There's so many of them they can't even hide no more. Oh my, check this out. I don't know if I showed that the other day, but my lucky bamboo has got a new shoot. Look at that new shoot from the lucky bamboo. And I don't know if bamboo is not related to bamboo at all. Has no relation to bamboo. Let's go over here and check the pond real quick, and then we're gonna get out of here because it is Sunday. These plants over here are looking good, huh? Look at this. Might actually get something off those. Got some, looks like some, we planted some, what do we plant in there? Watercress? Yeah, watercress. That's watercress. What's up, guys? Girl? Don't kill yourself, it's just me. Cooter's down there. Look at the grass. It's just, look at this. I'll show you. Just keeps on going. And then that over there just wraps around that and then keeps on going. That'll be, we'll probably have to cut some of that out. Actually, it'll probably just take over the whole pond. What's up, Scoot? Or no, that's Scoot. What's up, Cooter? There's Scoot. Mollies are floating around in there. We fed yesterday evening, so I'm not going to feed them this morning. They'll eat and eat and eat. We don't need to do that. And then we've got the Alpha Skunk Cheese. Look at the red line in that leaf. I've never seen in both of them. Must be a genetic thing, because I don't see that over here. But I do see it over here in these. So I'm curious. They never got very big, either one of them. They stayed the same height, and they're in stretch now. But it's only day 5, so we'll see what happens. All right, I appreciate everybody hanging out, and we will check back with you tomorrow. Have a great Sunday. Peace.